Are you ready? Welcome back to my new video. In this video I will show you how to paint an RC body. There are different kinds of bodies that you can buy or that come with the car. And for this I will use the Limitless V2 body. It comes pre-cut, but you also have bodies that don't come pre-cut, so you have to cut out the holes for the wheels. There are also pre-painted bodies and there are also bash bodies. Mostly the bash bodies are thicker and they are not meant to be painted. RC body you paint it from the inside, because when you damage the body, the scratches or damages to the body will be on the outside and you will not damage the paint, because you will paint the body from the inside. Bodies that need to be painted, they come with a foil on the outside of the body. You want to leave that on until you finish painting the body. When you paint the inside, it can also go on the outside, and then you get a mixture of colors, and for the best painting result you don't want that, so you leave the foil on until you are done with painting your body. All the bodies that need to be painted, they come with a sheet like this, and they have stickers to cover up the windows from the inside. But only with this you can decide to paint the body in one color and then the windows in another color, or you don't paint the windows at all, so it is see-through. I want my body to be painted in different colors, and that is why I also have different colors of paint, and I will use masking tape. I have painted several bodies before and I've used several different kinds of tape, but for me this one works the best. It is easy to apply, it is easy to cut in shapes while it is being applied, and it is easy to remove without damaging the paint. But using only this 30mm tape is going to be a lot of work to apply a lot of small details. And that is why for this body I also bought small tape. I have tape that is only 1mm thick. I have a 2mm, a 3mm and a 5mm tape. These I bought at the hobby store. They are made for painting bodies, so it should be okay. It should be easy to apply and it should be easy to remove after painting the body. But before it is time to apply the tape, you need to degrease and clean your body. For that I use a simple sponge. I use the soft side, not the hard side, because otherwise you will scratch the body from the inside and you will see that after you've painted the body. And I use dishwashing soap. So I clean it from the inside, I dry it from the inside, I give it some time to completely dry, because in these small details it is really hard to dry. So I give it time to dry up naturally, and after that I will apply the tape. While applying the tape, make sure your hands are also clean, because when you touch the inside of your body everywhere, you will leave your fingerprints everywhere with a little bit of grease, and then the paint won't stick as good. But it is inevitable. I don't like working with gloves on. I like to work with my bare hands. After I have applied all the tape, I will take a little bit of brake cleaner and I put it on this microfiber cloth, and then I will gently clean and degrease the inside of the body without damaging or removing the tape. After I have painted the body and it is time to remove the tape, I will use a Hobbyknife to remove the tape. Why do I use a Hobbyknife? I use a Hobbyknife so I can use it to lift up the tape a little bit without touching the paint, and I lift it up enough so I can take it with 2 fingers and then take it off. And I will have to do that in between the paint jobs, because I want to paint this body in different colors. The overall color is going to be grey, but I also want to make purple, black, red and white accents. I have to paint, take some tape off, paint again. Time to clean the body. So now it is time to clean the body from the inside. Make sure you use enough soap, and then be gentle on cleaning it from the inside to make sure you don't scratch it, and to be sure you reach all the small surfaces from the inside where you want to paint the body. For drying, I will use paper towel, and then I will try to dry it as much as possible. But with all the small details in the body, it can be pretty hard to reach all the way down to dry it, and that is why afterwards I put it on the radiator for half an hour, maybe a little bit longer, to make sure every water is completely evaporated, and then I can start the process of applying the tape over the body. A few tips if you want to apply tape from the inside to mask off the areas that you don't want to paint or want to paint in a different color. I will do this on the outside of the body just to show you, but if you apply tape, then you need to make sure that the edges of the tape are pressed down good, so that the paint will not go underneath the tape. And for that you will have to make sure that it sticks all the way everywhere on the edges. You can see here that I've made a clean cut. With clean I mean a sharp cut. It was not straight, but it is clean, and there will not be any paint going underneath here. On this side there's not a clean cut, and you can press it down as hard as you want, but there will be paint going underneath there. So you want to avoid these rough edges. Then you can see that I have some air bubbles underneath the paint. That doesn't matter, because the air bubbles, they are fully closed in from all sides, so it is not possible for paint to go underneath the tape into the air bubble. And it is also really easy to remove the tape. So if you have applied tape and you don't like it, you want to do it again, take it off, restart, no worries. I will see you guys when I am done applying the tape to the body, and then we'll start painting. After several hours of working on the body to mask off all the lines that I want to make, it is time to clean the body one more time. And I want to do that in such a way that I do not damage the masking or that I remove the tape. Then it is time to shake it. So mix it for at least 5 minutes, and then it's time to paint. So it is important to paint your body outside or in a well ventilated area. I am painting my body outside because I don't have a well ventilated area inside. But the problem with painting outside is that you need to keep in mind that the weather conditions need to be good for painting. Preferably you don't want it to be too cold when you paint, because then the paint will not stick properly to the body. Right now it is about 10 degrees outside, which is a little bit cold. And to compensate that, I will let the body dry inside, and I've put up the heat, and the paint cans are also inside and are also preheated, so to speak. The other thing you need to keep in mind is wind. When there is too much wind and you paint, the wind will blow your paint away, or it will interfere in how equally the paint is divided on the body. You will have to adjust the distance between your can and your body while painting according to wind conditions. But you do not want to hold your can too close to the body, because if you do that, then you will apply too much paint in one layer, and when you apply too much paint in one layer, you will get drips. And once you have drips, you cannot take it away anymore, so then it is what it is. Applying paint, it's kind of permanent, because as far as I know there's no decent way to remove the paint without damaging the body. So you want to paint in different layers, thin layers. So what you do is you paint the body in the color that you want and you apply 2-3 layers, and then you use a backup color. And as a backup color I will use black. So now I am painting the body silver in multiple layers. Then I will paint everything black, and then I will work with different colors. Why do I do that in this order? Is because when I paint the body silver and then I am going to use purple, I'm going to use another color of white, and I am going to use another color of gray, it can interfere with how the initial color, the silver, will look like. The silver color is, you can say it is a light color, and when you apply black to it, it will get more intense and less see-through. Then if I apply purple, the purple color will not interfere with the silver, because there's a layer of black in between, and that black layer will prevent light from shining through better than the silver or the purple. Then you want to have around 15 to 20 minutes of dry time between each layer, because if you will not use enough time to let the paint dry, then the layer of wet paint will get too thick and then you can get bubbles or drips. If for some reason you are not able to paint your body in one sitting, for example you have to do something today, a few layers, and then tomorrow the rest of the layers, that is no problem. But keep in mind that you want to keep your body clear while you are not painting with it. Not clear, clean. And for me that's a bit of a problem, because I have a cat and I really love my cat, but it will lose a lot of hair all the time. So I need to keep my cat away from the room where my body is drying, because it is drying inside, because outside it's too cold. Are you ready? Ta-da! I like it. I really like it. Some things went better than expected, some things did not. But this is the end product of about 10 hours of work. I like the lines. I can just sit here and admire it the whole time. Okay, so the paint job. The paint job is good, but it's nowhere near perfect. So the lines on this side and the lines on the other side, they are not perfectly symmetrical. Same goes for these and on the other side. But the good thing is you don't see it at the same time. What you can see is this. The window is not so straight. On this side the window is much better, if you ask me, because it follows the lines of the body. You can see here this is not perfect. You can see here I've made some straight cuts, and on this side it is one round cut. So the lines, they're not perfect, but if you look at it like this, you don't see it. Over here the tape was not all the way fitted to the body, so I have a little bit of overlap in the spray. Same here. Okay, I didn't paint the body here because I am going to put LED lights on the splitter that are going to shine through the front wing. Why I do that is because when the car is more than 200-250 meters away, it is getting pretty hard for me to see the orientation of the car. This line over here is a little bit faded. This one is also a little bit faded, but less. It is all in the small details, but when you are more than, let's say, 1 meter, 2 meters away from the car, then you don't see. You don't need to be nervous to paint a body. Okay, maybe a little bit, but when you are preparing the body, you are cleaning it, you apply the tape, you can do that over and over and over again until it is perfect for you. And I know this is not perfect, but I did not want to do this 10 times in a row and then in the end it still wasn't perfect, because I know myself. And you cannot see this line and the line on the other side at the same time. So preparing the body, making lines on the body, that's not permanent. What is permanent is painting it. But if you know how to work with a spray can of paint, you know how not to make drops in the paint, you know how to apply the paint equally, and you will have the patience to make many thin layers, then everything will be okay. You do need to keep in mind this front wing, this part and this part were really hard to paint from the inside, because it is really tricky to get the paint all the way up in there, and the trick is to not to make the layers of paint in here too thick at once, because about 90% of all the paint is going to stick around here. Same here. So about 10%, 15% goes in here, but the rest goes in here. And you want to paint this, but you are painting this. So what you need to do is apply many thin layers in corners like these. Also goes for this corner here and this one over here. The rest of the body was quite easy to paint. All the surfaces are pretty big, they are rather smooth, so it is easy to paint. Only these two corners and the wing were difficult to paint, but if you have the patience to make many thin layers, then it is no problem. I am not a professional. This is my 5th body that I painted. I first painted 2 practice bodies about 2 years ago. Then I painted a body for my Emacs, which had some lines here and there. Then I painted my TRX body. Using these small tapes really helped, because it was really easy to apply the lines. They are easy to remove, and when you have a good line, it is damn straight. You can even mix 2 lines together, like I did here. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from my video. If so, go paint your own body, and after that I will see you back in my next video.